I don't know.
This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you!
Boring. Boring. Boring.
Okay, you got it. Don't tell us what we're gonna feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're gonna feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that. Remember what you're doing. You're in no position to dictate what we're gonna feel.
I call again for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, the return of the sausages, the hostages.
Welcome. Lembit Öpik here with Nick Buckley on another wonderful day. Apologies, yesterday we weren't able to broadcast because I was traveling, and here we are. I'll introduce Nick in just a minute, but I have to tell you, I've made a pretty long journey since I last spoke to you. What you see behind me is no fake. It is a hotel room in Dallas, Texas. Yes, you heard me right. I'm in the home of the free, the land of opportunity, and a place that still thinks it's all right to make a profit. Also, quite interestingly, their Supremo, that's President Trump, who's still the Prime Minister, at least for now, is quite keen on making a success of his country. But is he doing the right thing? We're going to find out in just a minute. Don't forget to like and subscribe on our wonderful station, that's Unprecedented TV, as we are over here. I'll tell you what we're doing here in just a short while. Also, I want to say that we've got some fantastic other shows coming up, including we're one step closer to that American show as well, which will be a morning show for you Americans. You're probably not watching at the moment because it's very, very early here. So welcome if you're watching on the replay. Anyway, I am here, as I said before, with Nick Buckley, who is still in the old country. Nick, good morning to you. What time is it where you are? I know what time it is where you are. It's just after 9 a.m. if you're watching this live.
Exactly. It's just after 9 in the morning. The
ultimate sacrifice, 3 a.m. 3 a.m. I got up at I got up ages ago to do this. But you know, it's kind of exciting. I'm not sure if my body clock's changed or not. But we're here with Sarah Clark, actually. It's one of the leading lights of our wonderful TV station. And boy, this place is big. Have you ever been to Texas?
I was there about 35 years ago. I spent 6 months backpacking around the US. And I spent maybe, 4 days, 5 days around that area.
And what did you make of it? What do you think of it?
Oh, I thought it was great. I loved America. I love backpacking around. It was the first place I ever went backpacking. And I picked America because, A, they all spoke English, so that was going to be easy. And I'd seen so much of it on TV growing up that it was like, oh, I want to go there and see those things. And we went to Dallas for some of the tourist things. So I stood on the grassy knoll.
Oh, the grassy knoll.
I then snuck into the book depository. So we found the book depository building. That's the building where Lee Harvey Oswald was supposed to have shot Kennedy from. So we snuck past the security guard on the front door, me and my girlfriend at the time. We got to the lift, we went in the lift, pressed, I think it was floor number 4 we had to go to. And we got to floor 4, the lifts opened and we stepped out and it was an open plan office. And like,
no,
78 typists all stopped typing and looked at these two scruffy English people getting out of the lift. So we back in the lift and went back down and got out.
Oh, that's a bit of an anticlimax there. That's a real anticlimax. You could, of course, at your youthful age, if it was 35 years ago, you must have been about 4. But maybe you didn't have the same audacity. It's a strange story, though. Everyone goes on about the grassy knoll. This is also home. This is home of the greatest president they never had. Who do you think I'm talking about? Well, definitely have heard of him.
Was he assassinated?
No, he is dead, but he wasn't assassinated.
Oh, I don't know then. J.R. Ewing.
J.R. Ewing, yeah.
I actually went to South Fork Ranch while I was there as well.
Does it exist?
Yes. Yeah. So all the outside
That's it in the
shots.
background there, then.
Yeah. So that's it there. All the outside shots were filmed at that ranch. All the inside shots were studios. So inside was nothing like you remember, but the outside and the pool was all spot on. It's tiny. It's not as big as you think.
Well, I mean, look, it's only about half his height there. How did he fit in? So yeah, everyone talks about J.R. Ewing here. He'd get things sorted out, but let's talk about somebody who's no less dramatic than that. Is Donald Trump and the scene. Well, watching it from here, a lot of people talking about this actually. Is Donald Trump has he gone mad? They say. Is he the man of the moment, or is he gone nuts? There he is with Nigel Farage, who gets his fair share of criticism. But fundamentally, is he somebody who's gone crazy? Let's set the scene here. Relentlessly, let's talk of Greenland, and let's talk about Donald Trump's plans to take over Greenland. It seems to me that Donald Trump is definitely on some kind of a mission here. And he's talking about it as if he really is willing to take some kind of a military approach. Do you think he is?
Oh, I don't think so. But there's been many times I've been proven wrong in the past. So honestly, I don't know, but I don't think so. This is his negotiation tactics. He always goes to the extreme, scares everybody, makes everyone think you can't work with him, that it's impossible. And then when you negotiate with him, you come back a couple of stages and then you think you've done well because you've got him away from the nutcase scenario he wanted. But that's probably what he wanted in the first place. Exactly where you're happy with was where he wanted you to be.
Yeah, this is the bit I'm wrestling with, really. And there are strong different views. I met people who are pro-Trump, people who aren't keen on Trump, but everyone's talking about him. This is the thing. Donald Trump has achieved something. He has made America great again because the whole of global politics is orbiting, the Western politics is orbiting around him. I wouldn't say so much Russia and China. I think they're willing to do business with him, but they haven't really taken a specific stand on this. I think they're just sitting there with their popcorn watching. But there's this big talk that Donald Trump is now gone crazy in all of this. We saw a headline: Trump's latest attack on UK not normal, says top Starmer ally after Chagos U-turn. Donald Trump launched a blistering attack on Britain's plan to cede the Chagos Islands to Mauritius. Apparently, the suggestion is that he was in favor of it before. Then the reality. Well, I just wonder if this basically means that he's right in the middle of the argument, and actually he's come clean with what he thought all along. The Chagos Islands, for those who don't remember, is this incredible, in my view, in my opinion, balmy proposal to give the Chagos Islands back to Mauritius and pay them for the privilege, something like £30 billion. Now, people who disagree with my position on this, what they say, they argue, well, actually, this whole negotiation was started by the Tories and they had to do it. Do you have an opinion about this, by the way? Maybe you're not so au fait with it, but
oh yeah, no, I've definitely got I've got an opinion on everything, Lembit. You should know that. You should know that by now. On this, I've got a strong opinion. We should not be handing over the Chagos Islands to anyone. They are vital in any third world war. They sit in the middle of the Indian Ocean. There's bases on there already. It's a base that will hinder China moving into the Indian Ocean. It's vital. And you said something that was just a little bit incorrect. You said about handing them back to Mauritius. Mauritius have never owned the Chagos Islands, a little bit like the Falklands. Argentina never owned the Falkland Islands. So we can't give them back to someone who never owned them. And the people of the Chagos Islands don't want this deal either. They want to remain as a territory of Great Britain. So I don't think Trump's ever wanted this. I think his advisors and our advisors probably have been saying the same. This is vital. This is vital for our long-term security and for the domination of the West.
So when Thomas' top ally says that Trump's status attack is not normal, what are they implying?
What they're implying is Trump isn't a normal president. Trump has looked at the world order since post-World War II, and he said to himself, and his advisors have all said, this needs to end. We get a bad deal out of post-World War II, status quo. We get a bad deal out of this. What we're going to do now is we're going to put America first. Europe's failed as a continent. That's what they're saying. Europe's failed. Europe can't defend themselves. Europe can't stop immigration. Europe's becoming Islamified. Europe are basically becoming a big bunch of pussies. That's Europe. And we're not going to protect them anymore. But they're also looking to the future as well. They're going, the world's changed. China's on the rise. Russia, has invaded Ukraine. We need to make sure over the next 100 years, we have solidified our defenses, because China is growing, and China is very likely going to be a problem and going to be competing against America on the world stage. So he's trying to get all these pieces in the right positions now. That's why he's taken out Venezuela. That's why he wants Greenland. He'll end up buying Greenland if he can get the deal done. He's looking at his pieces going, I need secure North America.
Well, that's the thing that's been in the media all the time. Greenland's huge place, 2,600 kilometers long and 1,300 kilometers wide. I actually flew over it. It's just enormous. It's frightening almost. It's just this absolutely massive lump of land. Most people who come to the United States probably do fly over it. But why does he need to own it? Why can't he just simply use it? Because the Greenlanders have said, do what you want, build your bases, not a problem.
Because they can change their mind. So Europe at the moment is failing. What happens if the Danish government completely fail and Iceland's got, and I know Denmark don't technically own Greenland, but Greenland is part of the Denmark, I don't know, empire, commonwealth, or whatever you want to call it. They've got very strong ties. So what happens if Denmark goes? What happens if the China in their road and whatever it's called, road and braces, road, whatever it's called?
Oh yeah, Silk Road. It's. I remember it now. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So what happens if China starts getting influence in Greenland? They start competing for the favors of the people on Greenland 50 years from now. But Trump's looking at this going, no, we're not taking any chances. We need secure North America. And part of the pieces I want is Greenland, because it's a huge island off the coast, North Atlantic. That always has to be pro-American. We can't guarantee it now with the state of Europe. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to buy it. I want it.
It's strong. It's strong language, though, from him. And I suppose let's not beat around the bush. The inference by some people is that he's gone nuts. And there's apparently a call now, fresh calls to invoke 25th Amendment after Trump's letter to Norway. Trump sent a rather strong letter to Norway, apparently. Do you know what the 25th Amendment is, by the way?
Yeah, that's if you can prove your president's mental, you can basically dethrone him.
It's not quite hard to put it, but yeah, basically right. I don't think they're going to go into the White House going, he's mental, he is. you got to get rid of him because he's mental. But that's basically correct. So there are people who suggest this, and there's harsh words, but Gavin Newsom's one of them. He's one of the big names. Newsom rose swell leaders for ruling over Trump. For Trump, Gavin Newsom sent knee pads to political opponents to Donald Trump. So there's a lot of talk here. They don't spend all their time talking about it. I suspect we talk about Donald Trump more than they do over here. But there is this inference that, he must be mad. The other way of looking at it is he just does politics in a way that's never been seen before.
He looks mad because it's been 100 years since we've had Western politicians with a backbone. Maybe not 100 years, but a good 50, 60, 70 years since we've had a politician with a backbone, since we've had a politician who won't spin, who won't be pink and fluffy, who's a man, who's a real man, a man's man, who says, I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about the optics of this. I'm telling you how it's going to be, because I'm powerful and I have an army, and this is how it's going to be. And you need to get used to this, because I'm not pussyfooting around. I'm not into diplomacy. I'm into might is right, and you will do as you're told. That's been the standard leader in the history of mankind for the whole of mankind up to 50, 60 years ago in the West, but still is the way leaders run the rest of the world today.
Yeah, Trump and Donald Trump and J.R. Ewing have something in common. Do you know what that is? There's something that they both have in common.
They both like drilling.
Oh yeah, but drill, baby, drill. They've got two things in common in that case. The other thing,
I can't think of the other thing.
You've alluded to it before. They both got shot.
They both got a shot. Yeah,
they both got shot.
They both got shot. I had a T-shirt as a kid saying "I shot JR." I mean, can you imagine that today?
Yeah.
People walking around with joke T-shirts saying, you know, that you're happy someone got shot, even though it was a TV character.
Yeah. For those who don't know, J.R. Ewing was one of the biggest characters on television when we only had like 3 channels.
Yeah.
People would watch Who Shot J.R. J.R. got shot. And this came in the Western world, not all over the world. I'm sure people in Cambodia and on the island of Nauru weren't too concerned about it. But people in the West got very excited about Who Shot J.R. I can't remember who it was now, but that was less important than the fact that everyone kept walking around saying "Who shot J.R."
I think it turned out to be his wife.
I can't remember.
If I remember rightly, Sue Ellen, yeah.
Oh, there. All right, stay with us for a minute. While we're at this, there are some other great people who are absolutely fantastic at their work. One of them, of course, is our very own friend and fellow presenter. That's Tim Scott, who does this. That's Tim Scott Uncancelled. I'm Lembit Öpik, live from Dallas. But still with very perky our man in Britain, our man in England today, Nick Buckley, MBE. I'm sure they'd really be impressed with their MBE-ness here. We're meeting people who are quite interested in investing in the station. It's one of the reasons I'm here. But also we're going to a raceway today with the Full Throttle team. We're going to be going there, and it looks like Brian Gregory, one of the co-presenters of that, will actually be on a racing car. This is great. And I very much doubt I'll spend 20 minutes doing a health and safety assessment. I just don't think they take things like that seriously. This place is big. I mean, it's just enormous. It feels huge. And it looks like the postcards. So there's Dallas, downtown Dallas. It really looks like that. It's just incredible. And people, there's something else which differentiates people in Dallas from people in Britain. What do you think that is?
Wearing big cowboy hats, not having guns, walking around with guns. It's an open carry state, isn't it?
It may be. It's because I was actually thinking of something less aggressive, which is they're happy. Right. You walk around, they're just happy. We went to a Tex-Mex, not my normal first choice of food, last night, and it's just like mountain food. But everyone was decent, and I made a mistake with a hotel booking because we're going to Austin, Texas. I went down to the reception. I said, "I'm sorry, I accidentally booked 2 nights in the hotel. We only need 1." Do you know what she said?
What?
That's fine. You get the money back in just a couple of days. That's it.
Yeah.
Just let me do it. Not like, we have your cash and so on. So there was an absolutely enormous, almighty mess on the way out here with some of my colleagues. We got that fixed too. But it's just a positive place, and it looks nice as well. I mean, it's just that doesn't look like. I mean, Burnley, for example, doesn't look quite like that. and maybe that's an unfair comparison, but it's an extraordinary place. Now, the other thing that Donald Trump's been really slamming Britain for on and off, and J.D. Vance, who would probably take over actually if Donald was sectioned for being mental, is this free speech thing, because Donald and J.D. Vance are very big on on free speech. I think it's Eva Vlaardingerberg, I think, something like that. I may not have got her name right. She's been banned from Britain because she's not conducive to public safety. What's that about?
But we import Islamists every single day. We imported an Islamist who'd just been let out of an Egyptian jail, and he came straight to the UK. And Keir Starmer said it's a wonderful thing.
I know, it's unbelievable. It's you just think, who's advising Starmer? The very funny thing that Donald Trump said about Starmer, I just never really feel that they got such a great relationship, is that he's guilty of great stupidity. That's the phrase he used. Just with this one, though, I think it's interesting that this woman seems to have been banned from Britain because she said hurty words essentially about Starmer. Has he got a letter saying we can't come? I mean, I've seen her being interviewed. I want to interview. I probably will actually interview her. It'll be interesting to see what happens then. Do I get a knock on the door afterwards? But it's just nuts.
I think the reason why she was rejected, I don't think it's the hurty words against Starmer. I think he's used to that. It's the fact she's not pro-immigration, she's anti-immigration, and that's what she talks about, and that's what she's pushing for. And Starmer and the Labour government don't want her in the country because she's a beautiful blonde, blue-eyed woman, and they know she'll be very attractive to many people, not only physically but her message. So they just don't want to come into the country.
Well, it's the antithesis of what you get here. People just talk about free speech. Yeah. And they're bemused about Starmer. I'm not sure they're really very sure who he is. They're kind of aware that this is the Prime Minister of Britain, but they don't have strong opinions. It's like he hasn't really made a big impression. I think that's the way I'd put it. He just hasn't made a big impression. And I mean, he made this crazy, ridiculous speech the other day saying, I've called the President of the United States and told him, Donald, no, you shall not pass. Something like that. Donald will be going, this is ridiculous. He just looks tiny on the world stage now, which isn't good for the country either.
He does, but I'm really enjoying all the Western leaders really sticking up for Greenland and Greenland's borders, just like they were sticking up for Ukraine and Ukraine's borders. But ironically, they never stick up for their own borders, do they? Yeah. We don't have anyone, Starmer's never sticking up for the UK borders. French and German politicians are not sticking up for their borders. It's always external borders they're worried about.
I'll tell you, there's somebody who, if he was Prime Minister of Britain, I'm sure would get on very well with Donald Trump and would stick up for our borders. Any guesses?
Well, the obvious one is Farage.
J.R. Ewing.
J.R. Ewing.
he'd stick up for our borders. And also, they'd both be drilling. Yes. In unison. This is the problem. If you had one, you mentioned the larger characters from the past. I was never really too keen on personally on Thatcher, but you would probably get on a lot better with Trump than what we got now, and Blair probably would have as well. I just think we've just got a particularly weak bunch now, and they're highlighted. It's highlighted by Trump's really go-getting attitude.
It does, and that's why people are looking at him thinking he might be mentally ill, because we're not used to politicians like that anymore. What we're used to is politicians who are no more than middle managers, who are taking instructions from the UN, the WEF, from the European Court of Human Rights, from the EU. That's all our leaders in Western Europe really are now. The middle managers are implementing the policies that international organizations want them to implement. Where Trump, from day one, has always said, America first. Hate me if you want to hate me, but the American people will come first in all my policies. And that sounds strange today, but like I said before, that's been normal throughout the history of mankind. That's what tribal leaders used to do.
A few comments coming in here. Defer to, is my shed leaking? Lamb chop allowed in the house, eh? That's not why I'm here. That's not why I'm here. Dirty Farage is being primed at Davos to be the next Pointless Prime Minister, as Defer. No, I'm not here for that. I'm not here for a job at the White House, but I would take one if I was offered. We Need Silent Sunlight has reposted the stream. Thank you. Defer adds rather caustically, I'm surprised you're not in Davos, Lembit. I wasn't invited. I wasn't invited. Better parties there, I'm sure. To be a fly on the wall. Yeah, I agree. It'd be interesting to see what happens there. Yeah, but there'll be a strict door policy, I imagine. If your name's not Nigel, you ain't coming in. Adding, Trump only appears to be making decisions. Only appears to be making decisions. He's actually following orders too. So there's a certain amount of suspicion there. Do keep your calls and comments coming there. I want to ask you, back to the Donald Trump thing. It seems to me that the special relationship is completely broken now. I can't see this working anymore. We're even being threatened with tariffs if we don't fall in line with his Greenland gambit.
I don't think there's ever been a special relationship. I think that was a propaganda spin from the British government to bat away accusations that we're just a puppy dog following the big American bulldog. I don't think there's ever been a special relationship, because I can't think of one time where the Americans have ever honoured a special relationship and went out of their way for the UK. And I'm not saying they should do that. I'm saying they should be putting their own people first.
I can think of one: World War II and World War One.
Well, World War II, they had no intentions of joining World War II until the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, and then Hitler declared war on Germany. Hitler declared war on America. Up to that point, America had no intentions of joining World War II. So they didn't come to do us a favour. They borrowed us money, which we only paid back in 2015. The two world wars, especially World War II, made America a world power because the amount of money they earned from that war, selling armaments and loaning money. Again, I'm not criticising for that. We needed the arms, we needed the money. But I can't think of one time where the special relationship benefited the UK.
So, yeah, we've got the other war that's going on at the moment, of course, which is in Ukraine, and it's interesting. No one has initiated, not anyone I've spoken to here, has initiated any conversation about the Ukraine war. They just don't talk about it. They don't ask about it. They don't comment. Whereas in the UK, you do get people occasionally mentioning it. I'm not saying it's a scientific observation, what I've said, but it does seem to me it's a remote war far away. But it does seem also that Donald Trump just isn't interested in loading up his people with the cost of this war. It's this grubby, corruption-ridden conflict. Is the special relationship over? You just don't think it existed in the first place?
I don't think it existed in the first place. I think there's been times where we've been very close because it benefits both countries, and there's times where we've gone our own separate ways because it doesn't benefit. A good example would be the Vietnam War. We didn't get involved in the Vietnam War. Australia did, and other countries did, but we didn't. But again, when America wanted to invade Iraq, both times we joined the crusade there. So I just think different prime ministers will do different things, but the idea that there's a special relationship, I think, is for the birds. And then talking about Ukraine, apart from the first couple of weeks of the war, no one has ever mentioned Ukraine to me, apart from on a podcast, or an interview like this, where it's someone heavily involved in politics. Apart from that, no one has ever asked me about Ukraine, apart from the very couple of first weeks when people would say to me, what's going on in Ukraine, Nick? Where is Ukraine for a start? Why has Russia invaded it? But the first couple of weeks, that was it. No one cares in this country either.
And yeah, it does seem to be a war which is losing favor in the mainstream as well. People don't really want to talk about it so much, maybe because it's becoming less attractive as a photo opportunity. Can Europe? I know my answer to this, and the answer is no. But can Europe win without active American investment?
No. Europe hasn't got the skill, the leaders, the balls, the armaments, the army, the tactics to solve Ukraine by themselves. It will require America to force a peace upon both sides to a certain extent. That's the only solution there, a forced settlement.
And meanwhile, psychiatrists warned about Trump. So is the White House chief of staff the one person who can rein him in? So while we're talking about these highfalutin things, the Independent on this occasion, British newspaper, says the dangerous case of Donald Trump. Dozens of mental health experts warned that aspects of his personality could pose a danger in high office. I would suggest the reciprocal of that is that dozens of teachers warned that Keir Starmer and David Lemmy weren't clever enough to do their jobs. But there we go. I don't think Donald Trump is nuts. I think he's playing a risky game, but I think that it's understandable when you're dealing with people of such low caliber as Starmer and Merz in Germany and Macron. Oh, I mean, walking disaster area in my view. But when you're dealing with people like them, you know, there is Donald Trump, sorry, not Donald Trump, Macron, who just doesn't come across as credible, and all kinds of gossip about that as well. Even here, there's gossip about Macron here. How does this play out then? We started with the obvious breakdown of the special relationship, if ever there was one. You don't think there was one. How does this play out? What happens next with Greenland?
I think he'll carry on this rhetoric of invading and taking it over. And I think behind the scenes, I think he'll start a propaganda war in Greenland about saying to the people, why don't you become the 51st state? And we'll pay him. We'll give every one of you, what's it, 50,000 people on the island?
Yeah.
You can say, we'll give you all £1 million to become the 51st state. And then you'll have access to America. I mean, that's a hell of an offer. So I think he'll try to buy it. And for people who are saying, you can't do that. Well, America bought Alaska off the Russians. Yeah. We're looking at giving our islands away.
No, we're paying people to take them.
Exactly. So we're paying people to take. So countries can buy and sell countries if they want to. It's only land. It can be done. So I think that'll be his tactic. I think he wants it. His military want it to secure North America.
And finally, this is not for children. What's the implication? And this is not a kid's game. What happens if Europe digs in and simply says, we do not consent? What happens over Greenland? Does he take it anyway?
Yes, because my understanding is as long as the people of Greenland want it to happen, it will happen. Because they've got the right for self-determination. So if they decide they want to become the 51st state, then legally, my understanding, I'm no lawyer, they should be able to become the 51st state. Europe may not like it, but they're powerless to do anything. I read the other day that France have just sent 100 soldiers to Greenland.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought it was to protect the borders, but then I found out it's to teach the Greenlanders how to surrender.
Defa 2 says, yeah, there he goes. Okay. Check out your history if you don't know what he means. Greenland is just another distraction, offers Defa. And Neil Curry says, history is loaded with such affairs, including recent history. What did happen to the Chagos again? Legally, you make me cry, says Neil. And do keep your comments coming. And please do remember to subscribe and like if you can. It's free on the YouTube. That's Unprecedented TV. I'm here for a little bit longer, and it's great. Final question for you then. I've given a few clues here. Oh, sorry. Brad Davis 9895 says, adrenochrome junkie government's harvesting blood. That's a really big statement. I haven't got time to explain it, but there's a whole subtext to that commentary. So final question for you. What is the highest rated, what was the most famous and most highest selling VHS adult video of its day?
Considering you sat in Dallas, I'm going to go for Debbie Does Dallas.
Well done. Absolutely.
And can I confide with your voters, but your viewers, but don't tell anybody. I actually watched it as a kid.
Did you? Don't watch it as a kid. It's not child's entertainment.
I was a young teenager. I watched it.
I would not let my children watch that. I would not let my children watch that. But I have to say, it's a great place. When you come to Dallas, you remember people are happy. And I got a gift from one of our people. Look at that.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, look how big it is. English tea at 3 a.m. or 3:40 if you're watching this live. Thanks very much indeed. Where can people see you on your programs?
People can catch me on YouTube at Nick Buckley MBE and on Twitter and Facebook, same handle, Nick Buckley MBE, all one word.
Thank you so much. That's Nick Buckley, MBE, joining me live, if you're watching this live, from Dallas, where we're doing some filming. I had a racetrack today, and where we're talking to people about free speech and unprecedented and everything that goes with it. Big thanks to the team there. And if you are under 18, please don't try and watch that program. But it was irresistible that we put it in. Do like and subscribe, please. We'll try and do another show tomorrow, probably from Austin, Texas. So it's all happening here. I'm Lembit Öpik. This is the truly international, unprecedented TV, broadcasting to you, not from the world of woke, but from the land of the free. Until next time, take care, you all.
Immediate ceasefire in Gaza. The return of the sausages.